I guess we'll get started, and if anyone else comes in, I wanted to welcome everyone who could make it today, those who are watching in the future as well. This is being recorded just like the one from last month is. My name is Letitia from Team Culture, and we're happy to have our second program spotlight. Program Spotlight gives us a chance to highlight the wonderful work that we do across BH Care and the specific programs, and just share a little bit about what these programs do and the wonderful people that work for these programs. Today, we're going to be spotlighting two of our shoreline programs, Harbor House and HARP. Again, this is being recorded, so if you want to review it in the future, or if there's anyone who couldn't make it today, it will be posted hopefully by the end of this week under that respective program's service page under BH Connect. So Harbor House and HARP will be under adult services. I'd like to hand it over to Anthony to get us started. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days to join in today. Let me see. Harbor House, we are a Medicaid rehab option group home, and we'll explain a little bit more about that once we get going. We're located off of Interstate 95, exit 54, about a block and a half south of the exit, right on Route 79. We're right on bus lines. There's a lot of convenient shopping, and we have the Branford Town Green, where there's a lot of great activities and events that take place throughout the year. Our program never closes, and we operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We, as I would imagine with any other program at BH Care, we rely a lot on a lot of different departments to help us operate and provide services. We rely heavily on clinical support, finance, human resources, obviously maintenance, and nursing. And there are various other interactions throughout the year with other folks for various reasons. So we serve persons who are 18 and over, individuals with skill deficits in the area of self-care, illness management, independent living as a result of the psychiatric disability. And they require a non-hospital 24-hour supervised community-based residence with on-site non-medical staffing 24 hours a day. We, being an MRO group home, which stands for Medication Rehab Option, we have a whole host of eligibility requirements. Prior to admission, priority is given to individuals being discharged from more restrictive residential settings or long-term healthcare facilities, such as River Valley Services in Middletown, CMHC, or CVH. Prospective residents must demonstrate medical necessity for 24-hour supervision. If the referral seems to be appropriate, a recommendation will be made to our medical director for final approval. If there are no available openings, applicants will be placed on a waiting list, which is regularly updated by myself. So individuals considered for acceptance in the Harbor House must meet the following criteria. They must be at least 18 years of age. They must have a primary diagnosis of serious and persistent mental illness, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar disorder, major depression, etc., which directly impacts their ability to live independently. Applicants must require 24-hour supervision to live in the community, as evidenced by a written plan of care or an initial assessment by a physician or some other practitioner of the healing arts. Applicants must be willing and able to receive 40 hours of a month of recovery rehabilitation focused services. Those are the MRO services I was talking about. And those services must be ordered by a physician or by another practitioner of the healing arts. Medication rehab option services are designed to help clients who have functional disabilities secondary to serious and persistent mental illness, help them to achieve maximum functioning in self-care and independent living. The MRO services provided at Harbor House would include assessment and treatment planning, supportive counseling, behavior management training and intervention, psychoeducation groups, teaching, coaching, and assisting with daily living skills and self-care skills, things like coordination of one's own health care, medication self-management, use of transportation, meal planning, personal grooming, money management, social skill development, and the teaching of any other recovery skills in order to prevent relapse. MRO services may also include other services if they're rehabilitative in nature that may be covered under the rehab option, but that process is quite above the scope of my practice and understanding, and we've never had that need occur here at Harbor House. Applicants must be able and agree to pay the charge for room and board and for services. The method of payment for room and board will be determined prior to admission, and Harbor House will provide assistance in securing entitled benefits. That typically happens once they get into Harbor House. Applicants shall have a documented physical exam at least 1 month prior to or 5 days after admission. Applicants must be able to self-administer medication under supervision as directed by their physician. Applicants must be currently free of severe self-abusive or assaultive behavior, inappropriate behavior, anything that may jeopardize the safety of the other residents and staff. Applicants must also be willing to abide by the house rules and expectations and willing to participate in the development of their recovery plans. Applicants must require assistance to perform minimal daily living activities. We are often classified as the highest level of BH care, and our goal is to have persons transition to a lower level of care, but that's not always possible. Our great, dedicated, and loyal staff. I am program manager here. I've been with BH Care for 30 years now, 5 years spent in clinical services, 2 years as a case manager, and I've been here at Harbor House for the past 23 years. Kelly Dickinson is our lead residential counselor. She works on second shift and is here for the past 3 years. I like to have that leadership on the off shifts as well for consistency and continuity. Theo Kwabu, he's been here for 20, almost 21 years now, and he works during the day. Tremaine Brown, been here for just about a year. She works during the day. She's getting ready to transition to the overnight shift. May Reeves has been here for almost 20 years. She works the overnight shift. Michael Gibbs has been here for 11 plus years, and he works some weekend shifts. Corinne Sullivan works during the second shift, and she's been here almost 3 years. We currently have 4 per diem residential counselors who are cross-trained to work both here at Harbor House and at HARP. And we have 1 per diem counselor right now who does work at both sites. Rebecca Oberman Levine, she just started about a month ago. Gerald Scott, who transitioned from full-time to per diem about 6 months ago. He's been here about 2 years. Mary Ann Lyon, who works both at HARP and at Harbor House. She's a former lead residential counselor here, and she's been with the agency almost 10 years. And we have a new per diem residential counselor, Bria White, slated to start in about 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks. Collectively, we have about 99 years of residential experience between us. A few fun facts about Harbor House. We've turned 35 years old this year. We were founded by East Central Mental Health Services, who then became Harbor Health Services, who then merged with the Birmingham Group to form BH Care. So we were founded in 1988. Harbor House became a Medicaid rehab option group home in 2004. So providing 40 prorated direct care service hours monthly to all residents comes with stringent Department of Mental Health and DPH requirements. We've added nursing care support in the last year. We have weekly nursing that comes over and helps us to meet our growing list of medical needs with our population. Some of our personal enrichment support activities have included trips to Times Square. We've gone to the Wheel of Fortune show, just recently to a Beyonce concert at Foxborough. We've gone to Six Flags and Lake Compounds, the Big E, the Dawn Fair, Mystic Aquarium, the Mystic Seaport, year after year. And we go on many, many shopping trips and other fun activities and trips. Our internal referral process goes like this. Someone will contact Harbor House, speak with me directly, email me, what have you. It can be done in CareLogic. There is an application. The application for services form should be completed and sent to us here at Harbor House. The form is available on BH Connect in residential forms. And we also require an additional clinical assessment and a medical history for any applicant that comes here. That's about it for me at Harbor House. And again, I thank you all for taking time out of your busy day and for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I guess I'll jump right in. My name's Lisa McSorley. I am the program manager at HARP, which is a supervised apartment program in Brantford. And HARP, just so you all know, is it stands for Harbor Apartment and Respite Program. It's a supervised apartment program. There's 22 beds or 22 residents. 6 are respite and 18 are long-term residents. Like Harbor House, our goal is to move people to a lower level of care. It's a lower level of care compared to Harbor House, and the idea is to move from HARP to independent housing, perhaps with case management services. Because we're 24/7, we help folks. We provide a lot of case management supports with benefits, coordinating services with the clinic and options, the food bank. We help out with energy assistance, renters rebate, and coordinating medical appointments. We provide a lot of transportation, food shopping. Every week we do several trips food shopping for folks. We'll take folks to AA meetings, the Brantford Food Pantry, the Soup Kitchen. The residents are encouraged to use VEO for medical appointments and MyRide. But some of the appointments, medical appointments, are with prescribers. We will take them if we feel there's a need for us to help coordinate and advocate on the residents' behalf. Residents that come to HARP, there are some expectations, rules, policies. They're expected to take their medications and to receive nursing services. They're supposed to abstain from alcohol and drug. They're not allowed to have any pets or Any visitors after 10 o'clock at night, they're expected to keep their apartment, keep it relatively clean. They are to meet the eligibilities to come to HARP. They're supposed to be 18 years of age or older, have an Axis 1 diagnosis, and or have substance abuse issues. And they are expected to have some sorts of income. Usually it's benefits, Social Security or SSI. And it's a voluntary program. Rent is $425 per person in the long-term apartments. But let me just first go over sort of the structure. It's 2 apartment buildings that they are adjoined, they attach, but you can't get from one building to the other. And as you're looking at the current slide, there's 6 apartments. So 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. And the other building is identical, 6 apartments. And in each building, there is a single apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment. The other apartments are all 2-bedroom apartments. One of the 2-bedroom apartments is all staff office. So when you walk in, the living room is really like the common area for the residents. The kitchen is the medication room where the nurse comes in. Nursing services come twice a day. The 2 bedrooms are used as staff offices. So that kind of is the physical. We're located off of Alps Road in Branford, going towards East Haven. Alps Road is right off of Route 1, and we're kind of in the woods. In the back, there's a lot of woods, and it's about a mile to walk to get to a bus stop. We take referrals. Most of the referrals come from within BH Care, from the Shoreline or from the Valley, from the clinic or from case managers. And when we get a referral, we have a waiting list, but we tend to like to meet with the person and assess and see if they're, willing to comply with the expectations, whether they fit the criteria. And then we usually I meet with the person with the lead residential counselor, Kanaya Smith Jackson, and or Tice Gordon, who's the director of residential services. And we meet with the person, and then if we think they might be a good fit, we send a summary and a list of medications to Dr. Gomez, and she has like the final say and input before we move forward with the person moving in. And we also have to keep in mind whether they're going to be compatible with who they're going to room with, which becomes much more of an issue than you would think. So the population went over. We do a lot of recreational activities. They're in their own apartments. They're expected to cook and clean and live as independently as possible. But with staff here 24/7, we do help out with ADLs, assist them with a lot of budgeting. We have 6 folks we are the rep payee. So we ensure that their bills get paid. We help them out maybe if they need some direction in cooking. We go into their apartments at least once a month to inspect and see the condition, see if anything needs to be fixed or any Zen desks need to be put in. We do a lot of activities on the weekends, especially a lot of, we've been to the Big E. We've been to Gillette Castle just recently. They went to a Puerto Rican festival, a lot of cookouts. We do a Thanksgiving dinner here. Cultural festivals, fairs. The long-term folks are expected to pay their rent, which is $425, and also electricity and cable. The respite apartments are a little bit different. They're not like a true respite. Folks are usually people that are in real dire situation, coming out of a long-term stay in a hospital or prison, and they have no place to go. They are usually expected to stay short-term, 18 months to 2 years, and we try to help them move on from the respite to their own apartment to a lower level of care. Oftentimes, those folks do end up moving to a long-term apartment here at HARP. But the male respite, there's 4 residents in the male respite 2-bedroom apartment, and because there's 4, their rent is only $212 each, and they are not responsible for cable or electricity. And the idea is because their rent is so cheap that they're able to help get on their feet, save some money for a security deposit, move on. That's the theory. A lot of times that doesn't happen because they kind of take advantage of the rent being so low, and they don't necessarily save money with the long-term goal of moving to a lower level of care. The female respite is only 2 beds, so their rent is $425 and no cable and no electricity. There's laundry facilities in the basement of each building. That's coin operated. And my name's Lisa Maxorley. I've been with the agency 30 years. I've been at HARP for 5 years. Prior to that, I was the lead residential counselor at Harbor House. And my team, I have Kanaya Smith-Jackson's the lead residential counselor. She's been lead for about 3 years. She's been at HARP for 16 years. Patricia Fotheringham has been residential counselor for about 9 years. Nicole DeFazio has been here for 5 years. Dante Green, 2 years, and Sam Osei has been doing the overnight for 22 years. He does 4 overnight shifts a week. We currently have 4 open positions, 1 40-hour position, 2 32-hour position, and 1 24-hour overnight position. So with having to staff 24/7, we use per diems, and a lot of the regular staff do a lot of extra shifts. Kanaya does a lot of extra shifts, Dante and Nicole. And Dante and Nicole help out a lot doing shifts at Harbor House as well. I think that pretty much covers everything. That's the current slide is an example of a residence apartment showing the living room area, the kitchen, and a bedroom. And that is a picture of the common area where the folks come when they're waiting for their meds, to socialize. We do craft, recreational activities, movie night, bingo. And the referral process is you can email me a completed referral application, or either on CareLogic, or just email me that you have somebody in mind that you're interested in, and then I can always email you back with the application so that you don't have to go nuts trying to find it. And we'd like, a completed application to have on my files with my waiting list. And some of the fun facts is one of our longest residents here at HARP lived at Harbor House back in 1988. And she had lived on her own for a while, and she's been at HARP now for 20 years. Most of our residents get visiting nursing services once or twice a day. We have another resident that had lived at Harbor House for a few years, came here to HARP, and this week she just signed a lease for elderly disabled housing in Bridgeport. So we consider that somewhat of a success. And a lot of our excursions, we go to Mystic Aquarium, the Biggie, Bearsley Zoo, Balloon Festival, Puerto Rican Festival, and other events in the community. And anybody have any questions for me or Tony?
I have a question, Lisa.
Okay.
So for the, because I typically have referred people to the respite. So you guys are currently using the same application for HARP and respite is the same application still?
Yes.
Okay. And so if we want to refer somebody to HARP, how long of a wait list is there? Is there a wait list right now?
Well, there's a very long wait list, and it's really hard to commit to a specific timeline because I don't know when people are going to move on. And when you make a referral, I could tell you right now, there's nobody in the works planning on moving. So I can't, I would say it's going to be a while, but then things can change. Somebody will decide to move on or something happens. I'm not really crazy with the application that we use. I would like to sort of change it a little bit. I wish there was some place where it says that you're looking for a respite or you're looking for a long term. I certainly like more information as to why you think they need to come and what their background is and what their level of functioning is. Um, so it's yeah. So right now it's really, I mean, send the application definitely. And then you never know because people that are on the wait list that have been there for a while, when I do have an opening, those folks maybe have already found other places to go and, you know, maybe the person you just recently referred will come up. So
Okay, thank you.
Tony, I have a question for you. How many residents do you currently have?
Yeah, after listening to Lisa, I'm a little remiss in not mentioning that. We have 8 residents. We have 5 male and 3 female. We've always, over the years, have always had a higher population of males. We have 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 3 doubles and 2 singles. And our longest resident has been here about 18 years.
That was my other question for both of you. Approximately how long does everyone stay in these residences?
I
On
know for
average.
me, it depends on a lot of different factors. It depends on the how well someone uses the program. It depends on housing preferences and availabilities. It depends on the severity of their illness. So we have one resident who just came in and made it known that he only wants to be here for about 2 years, and he should be fine to move on within 2 years. But we have a few residents who don't want to be here, but they're conserved, and they're nowhere near ready to move on to a lower level of care. And we have some folks who have been here for 15 and 16 years. Once someone gets into the program, family members, conservators really have a hard time letting go because they have 24-hour staff and they have a lot of things done for them, a lot of good supports.
I know here we've had some folks come into respite that were being evicted and they stayed 6 months and moved on. Or I'm trying to think, we've had some folks that have come to respite that have their own apartment and they were coming out of the hospital, but they really weren't ready to go back to their apartment. So they stayed in respite for a short period of time where they had the supports here and then went back to their apartment. The long-term beds, the one woman that's leaving now, she's been here, I think, for 4 years or 6 years. But we've had like the longest person's been here 20 years. I think another fellow's been here for 10 years or so. It's similar to Harbor House. You have some folks that are just very comfortable. They like the supports. The conservators are very happy because they're doing well. They don't want to rock the boat and they're getting the supports. But then you have some folks that they want to move on and have been here for a couple of years and have moved on. So we have kind of both.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to say that my looking at the contact information, that phone number is not correct in there. In case anyone wanted to reach me, it's 483-2662. You can always reach me by email, though.
All right, well, if we don't have any other questions, I encourage everyone to either reach out to Lisa or Tony separately if you have something program specific. But thank you so much for joining our Harbor House and HARP program spotlight. We are again aiming to do this the third Wednesday of next month. Everyone will get an email. This is being recorded and should be posted under the Adult Services page of BH Connect. Anyone interested in joining Team Culture, please reach out to Ebony, Emily, or Cooper. Thank you again and have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Nice
Thanks so
job.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.